Yo, so here with Tiny Seagrave, and you have a bike here. Can you tell me what it is?
Yeah, it's a Canyon Sender, custom painted, very pretty,
Yeah.
if I say so myself.
You definitely stand out on track. And is that, can you do that in-house, or is that a custom one? Or?
Yeah, they do it there before sending it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've had a few frames sprayed by them, and they always turn out very pretty.
And you're saying you're about 5'7". What size frame are you on?
I'm on a size medium,
Yeah.
mullet, so
Yeah.
mullet setup, and I'm in the short rear end.
Okay.
And I think I'm in a +5 cup.
Okay,
So
sweet.
I'm not too sure, it's been a while since I messed with that area. So.
Yeah, cool. And I was having a look and I had a little look at the front end of the bike and noticed that your bars do have a little bit of a roll forward. Is that a personal choice?
I get so paranoid now because everyone says, oh my god, your bars are so far forward. But
yeah.
I don't know, when they're back, I feel like I go into my frame like this.
Yeah.
I feel like my elbow's like, and I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
So I don't know, every time I roll them forward, I just feel like I stand up a bit better on my bike and more attack.
Oh, it's so cool because everyone does things a little bit differently, and it is like whatever works.
Yeah.
Do it. Mint. And looking at your tyres here, it says first ride on the side. What's that about?
Obviously, I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say, but
don't even look at it. Super secret prototype tyre.
Well, maybe I'm not allowed to say.
So can you confirm that
there's only one thing that could be different on a tyre that's a prototype, so.
So yeah, you can figure that out at home. Cool. And you're saying that the forks have a little tweak in them as well?
Yeah, the forks are prototype. They've got a new damper in them.
Cool.
So different damping, yeah.
And did you notice a difference straight away, or is it quite similar?
Yeah, I went on them quite late because our stuff got stuck on that ferry.
Yeah. Actually, on the one.
I think it did, yeah. So just before the gang, but I noticed the difference instantly from one run to the other. It was, yeah, they're super plush, very nice.
That's
nice.
Cool. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, looks good, and hope you do well this weekend.
Thank you.
Cool. I got Reece Wilson here, fellow Scotsman. Last weekend in Leo Gang, put any doubters to shame, and he podiumed at that race on a new bike. What is this?
This is the Trek Session. It still looks like a Trek Session, but this year we have an idler wheel, which has changed the performance of the bike a fair bit. Still getting to touch with it. It needs a few fine tweaks, which we're enjoying doing, but a fantastic starting platform.
I was having a look at all the linkage and everything, high pivot, I get that, but there's a flip chip down the bottom. What does that do, and what have you got it in?
Yeah, so the original plan wasn't actually to have a flip chip, but when the bike designer was designing it, Dylan, he realised it was actually very easy to add a flip chip into the bottom. But what's slightly different about this one is it doesn't actually affect the end performance. So it's not like a progressive chip.
Right.
It kind of mainly affects the initial stroke. So it's a little bit more sensitive in the 25% mode compared to the 20. So really, if you're a racer and you want that subtle feel, 25. If you're doing park laps, 20.
And you're in?
25.
25. Racer.
I'm a racer.
And you've got smaller wheel on the back. What's your reason for that? Just preference, or what's going on?
Yeah, so the bike comes stock full 29er, but you can change. So I have set up a mullet in the rear. I'm quite short on the legs, so on a steeper track with either tighter corners or a lot of drops where I need the room on the back, I prefer to run the mullet.
Yeah.
But I do also ride the bike a lot in full 29er, so that is an option in the back pocket if we need it.
Sick. And then last weekend, there was a lot of chatter on the internet, as there always is with yourself, and you had flats on, because you'd been riding them all winter, you were like, yeah, sick. But then you switched to clips for your race run. What's going on?
Yeah, I ride flats a lot at home, especially when it's snowy, because you can't actually see what you're riding over. And the amount of times I've washed out on silly routes that I've not seen and dabbed a knee down, it just kind of sucks. So this winter, I just ended up riding them a lot and really, really enjoyed it. And I had a lot of pressure coming into this race and kind of thought, you know what, maybe it's something fun to do to distract myself. And I don't know, it was just something that kind of felt right. And as the track dried and got really fast, I started to feel like I was at a slight disadvantage. I guess just a little bit of a hole in my riding skill. I couldn't quite go race speed on them, so threw the clips back on. But yeah, luckily I've been doing that a lot, so pretty used to it.
Oh yeah, you managed to switch back no problem. I think a lot of people would be freaking out, but you're just comfy.
Yeah, no, it's something, like I said, I thought I would maybe be doing it on some different tracks this year, running flat, so I thought a better practice going back and forth just in case, and yeah, I think it's a really good thing to have in the back pocket.
Yep. So I've seen you ride in aluminium rims, which you got on now, and carbon rims. Why'd you switch? What's the difference?
You definitely, again with carbon and aluminium frames, you definitely get a very different feel between the two.
Yeah.
We have our alloy wheel set has been really, really reliable. We've just got some new downhill carbon rims, so we're I'm just dipping my toes in the water with those, and they definitely do some things better, and they do some things worse. So it's very track dependent. I think Loris has been playing around with some carbon on the front or carbon on the rear, and like one of each.
Okay.
For that different feel, and I think he's swapping spokes a lot. So yeah, we're really diving into fine tuning little things this year, which is, some might say it's a wormhole, some might say it's fine performance advantages. So
it's just keeping things interesting.
We'll see. Hey, it is. We need something to do.
Sick. Well, good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Probably see you on track.
Hopefully so.
Here with Joe Braden, you got a new bike this year. Can you tell me what it is? What size is it? What does it do?
So here is my NS Bikes Fuzz. It's a bit of a combination of two bikes. So I have a 29-inch front end with a 27.5-inch rear end, because I run the mullet. At the minute they just make a 429 bike and a 427.5 bike. So I've combined the two to give myself a nice, comfortable mullet setup, still with a good geometry.
Man, and you're quite tall. Are you 6 foot? Or?
Yeah, I'm 6'2".
6'2".
So as you say, like most people do say, like, aren't you tall enough to not need to run a mullet? But for me, it's not the case. Like my style, I ride quite far over the back. Normally quite deep in a squat.
Okay.
So there were sort of two issues for me: tire buzz, which I still get even now. And then the second thing was just like, in my enjoyment of riding it, I just felt so much more comfortable on the mullet, and I enjoyed it more, and I felt like I could do what I wanted with it. So the combination of the two for me was a definite answer.
Man, and I noticed you got some big old meaty rotors on this piece. What size are they?
They are 223 Trick Stuff 223 rotors.
With apparently the most powerful brakes in the world.
Legit the most powerful brakes in the world, no argument. More power the better. You just, why not have it?
The levers don't say Maxima on them, they say Duratissima. What have you done here?
Yeah, so last year I ran the Maximas lever and caliper, which I was really happy with. But then on the trail bike I ran the Duratissimos, which is just a slightly small caliper, and I think the leverage ratio in the lever is slightly less. So it changes the feel of the bike. So on the Duratissimo, which is the trail brake officially, the bite's a little more savvy, like it bites and stops, whereas the Maxima's got way more modulation.
Okay.
And my sort of preference in a brake is that it's a little less modulation than the Maxima, and it's just a solid bite. That's how I like it.
Right, I noticed you got something funky going on down at the chainring. What's that?
Yeah, so this is the O-chain. For those that don't know, it basically cuts like the first, well for me I run 9 degrees float, so it cuts the first part of engagement, which just means that the chain under like hits, the chain doesn't grow immediately. So I believe it makes it a little more sensitive. It reduces pedal kickback, so the bike just tends to ride better. You lose a little bit of pedaling efficiency, but you don't notice it when you ride, and it's well worth it for the enhanced performance of that's tracking, etc.
When the suspension's compressing, the chain's getting taut, and it's like adding compression to your suspension.
Exactly. It's increased force, so this is sort of eliminating that force.
You just get a 0.002 of a second delay when you pedal it with tires.
Yeah, which you notice when you first get on it, but honestly, you know, after the second time I rode it, when I ride down the tracks, I just don't notice it.
Don't worry about it
now. No, it's just second nature.
Man, that's really interesting, man. Cheers for coming along, and
no, thank you.
Have a good race.
Cheers.
So here with Danny Hart, Cube's #1 downhill racer, and you've got your bike here. Can you just tell me what is it, what size is it?
We've got a Cube 215 SL. It's a size large. We're running a mullet setup, so it's probably a little bit different to what you can go out and buy on the shelf. But yeah, everything else is pretty much standard on there.
Sweet. How have you done the mullet?
So the mullet, I started with a different version at home, but now the engineers figured some more things out, and what we've done is we've changed the length of the rear end. I tried a different length. I tried 4.35, 4.45 and 4.55, and we ended up settling with 4.45. So then I have a long one if I need it when we go to somewhere like Fort William or Monson, and there's the option to make it longer for the longer, faster tracks.
Sick.
And I have this as just a good middle ground. There's a funny story here. Right now, I've just moved my BergTech bartender grips 5mm off either end to try it 5mm wider. I have contacted my team manager and asked them to bring me a wider bar to try. But for the time being, the handlebar is actually 760mm, but with the grips included now, it is 770 to 780, somewhere around there.
Oh, sick. So 10mm wider
Yeah.
ish. Sick. And what's this in the front? It's like, I've not seen one of these board holders
so
before.
Willie, the engineer from Cube, is just a little bit of a geek with his 3D printer.
Nice.
So I think he made that. So there's no cable ties, nothing like that, just a bit of Velcro for our number boards, which I do need to go and get this afternoon.
Does the job. And I spotted some Cushcore valves. You run inserts?
Yeah, so I run Cushcore. That's a new thing for me this season.
Yeah.
I have used different inserts in the past, but now working with the guys at Cushcore, I'm really enjoying it. I really like the different coloured valves they do as well. I was running a red dust cap on the back, so it's like Great Britain.
It's not about performance, it's always about looks, isn't it? No, sweet. So you just run it in the back and similar pressures front and back? Or?
Yeah, so we run 23 in the rear and 23 in the front.
Mint.
I tried different pressures. Obviously, when I first went to Cushcore, I didn't know where I stood, so I started higher and dropped it down and down and down, and then 23 became the optimum, I guess.
Mint. Oh, cheers, Danny. That's sick.
Wicked,
Good luck.
thank you.
So, we've got Phil Atwill here. He has got a fresh frame from Propane. Can you tell us just a little bit about it?
Yeah, well, I think this is actually still, I don't even know if this is, it's not for sale yet, this frame.
No.
No, it's pre-production.
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 All right.
So I don't know if it's, I think this is pretty much how it's going to be though.
Yeah.
Running extra large, 29. I've got the long setting on the rear end.
Oh, yeah. So what's the difference, do you know?
10mm difference.
10mm difference.
10mm difference.
Any idea what the length is in the long? Guesses?
I think long rear end is 460.
Yo, cool.
Yeah, I think, short is 450 and I think long is 460.
Yep.
But you probably have to check that.
Yeah.
It's a good guess though.
Fact check. I mean, you're in the right range. It's going to be
somewhere
around about
around there,
450. And then I noticed you got some spacers under stem at the front end. Do you like high front end? Or?
Yeah, I think I run a fairly high front end.
Yeah.
Just because of the lankiness.
Yeah, big boy.
You know what I mean? You'd probably have a couple under there, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
We got TRP 220 discs on there.
Doof.
Yeah,
Big boys.
They do the stopping and things.
And new suspension for you this year.
Yeah.
How are you getting on with that?
Mate, love it. Yeah, it's just got less clicks. It's so simple to set up. Like, I had the first run on that specific shock was in Leogan, and like by the second run I had it where I kept it the whole weekend.
Fresh suspension at World Cup.
Yeah, I love it.
Does all right.
Yeah,
And you, like in splits at that, you were what? You were in a top 10?
Oh yeah, I was like 8th, 2nd, and then it just started going a bit backwards.
Oh, it clearly works.
Yeah, I'm comfortable, man.
Sick. Oh, good luck this weekend,
Cheers, mate.
anyone?
Right.
So, got Laurie Greenland here. Got a nice carbon, fresh looking piece here. What is this bike?
Yeah, this is the brand new, just released last week, Carbon Summon, Mondraker Carbon Summon, and it's a whole new thing. It's the first time I've had this much input into a bike, so it's really exciting for me, just getting to get my numbers, my figures, my
No way.
sort of everything into one package that actually looks this good as well.
Yeah, yeah, and you're still tweaking with it, eh?
Yeah.
Like you were mentioning before, you've done something to the shock to change BB height. What'd you do?
Yeah, I guess like some riders aren't as specific as I am, but I get real set on kind of, or just real. I'm a big geometry guy.
Yeah.
I can override bad suspension with good geometry, whereas some people are the other way around. So I get pretty particular on head angle. I can really feel half a degree.
Yeah.
I can feel a few mil in the BB, especially if kind of the shock is different linkage designs, if the shock sits more. So I'm pretty specific on numbers. So I've got a headset cup in the front to make it a little steeper and a BB offset to make it a little lower. And with this bike, that's all I needed to do. It's not far from stock. I mean, everything else is completely stock apart from a couple offset holes.
And on the front end of the bike, you change the head angle and everything to kind of even things up with your BB drop, but you've got different crowns on. What's that about?
Yeah, you can buy these crowns from Fox. They don't come standard, but I kind of preferred the older way of kind of offset, especially being a smaller rider that doesn't have the leverage over the top of the bike like you might have.
Yeah.
It's like quite important for me to be pretty light on steering and kind of, I kind of prefer that with my way of riding and height and everything. That works real good for me, and I know some people on 52, some people on 48, you can get a whole different range, but the amount you change the offset means you got to look into your frame size as well, because it changes so much in length. So this is like the magic balance we've come to.
So you've got a 56 and it just feels good?
Yeah, with a small frame. So I guess if I went to a 48 or whatever, I might go to a medium.
And that's a small?
Yeah,
Oh,
wow,
sick.
this is a small, but it's pretty big,
it's big for a
small.
small.
Yeah.
And the other thing I noticed, which I loved, was you've got slip-on grips, but you've got a lock-on collar there. What's the thought on that?
Yeah, I like the slip-on grips just because they're so soft. I mean, like, I don't even get calluses on my hands.
No? Battery smooth?
Battery smooth hands. So I like the soft grips, and I don't like to wire them on, and they always kind of eventually slip their way in. So I put lock-on collars, and it's amazing how many people hit me up about what prototype grip I'm running.
Yo.
Because I've put some snapped off lock-on collars.
You'll be like, can't tell you. It's top secret.
But now that all the little bits like that are what makes the difference and what makes the bike mine, I guess. Is so all these little things are what kind of make you feel good about your setup and confident.
Just making
to
it
do
yours.
Your job in hand, yeah.
Sick. All right, good luck this weekend.
Cheers, man. Thanks a lot. You too.
So we got not Valley Hull. We have our mechanic Matt Gillion. And what bike is this?
So well, it's the new Trek Session 2021 that has a custom paint job for the team, the RockShox Trek team.
Sick. And we've just been looking at some other bikes, and there were some riders who are running the mixed wheel setup, and they're saying, yeah, it's because I like to hang off the back, or they're a smaller rider, but Valley doesn't. Like, why not?
We tried this over the winter, and I've tried the bike also, and we are short together. We are probably the same size, and we ended up that the 29er helped us to go faster.
Okay.
And it's easier to go faster.
Yeah.
So that was our bet, like going on a fast track and just have like the right speed at the right time.
Sweet.
Not have to push through the.
And like she doesn't have any issue with like tire hitting.
No, because like that's a good thing with the high pivot bike, because your bike wheels is going so back.
Cool.
So we don't have any issue with the tire buzzing the saddle. So
great. The buzzing off the saddle is something you see a lot with the smaller riders, or the bum.
Yeah, the bump and all that. But we don't have this problem with this bike, so which is pretty cool. Yeah.
All right. And there's some interesting stickers on the forks.
So yeah, basically RockShox Valley from this season, she's on the black box program. So mainly we are trying new stuff for them. Developing some stuff for them, and maybe it's not going to be on the market, but it's pretty interesting to be able to work with them, and yeah, we have a good shit. And like,
so what we've been seeing a lot with different bike setups is like bigger riders tend to go for bigger rotors just for like the power and heat dissipation.
Yeah.
So Valley's a smaller rider. Why has she chosen for the bigger rotors?
Basically, like same wheel size, like if you ride a 27.5, you ride 200 millimeters rotor. So it makes more sense to me, like to bigger wheels, bigger rotor, and she used to it. So bigger brake. It's not. I mean, it's always good to have more brake than nothing.
Yeah, I would agree.
You get like as soon as you get, you know how the brake bites and stuff. So you just release like.
So they don't feel too powerful.
No, it's not
like weight penalty, not an issue.
She doesn't really feel that. So.
Cool. No, mint.
And yeah, we just found out, like, for example, in Andorra, we needed to have 220s, and we just stick with 220s because it works.
Sick. Tire pressures, standard, pretty high. I think I've seen high before for her.
It's a bit high for her, but the thing is, like, when we start together, like 3 or 4 years ago, and she had no knowledge about like how to set up a bike. Basically, I took my setups. Duplicate to her with the right sag. Yeah. And so I stick to my pressure.
Well, what pressure was it?
And I was like 29 in the rear and 27 in the front. And
Okay.
it was like, maybe it's a bit too much.
think
But
that's
she
what-
liked the way that the tire felt,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
no
got it.
rolling and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So we stay like that. And then since like this year, we tried a little bit lower in
Cool.
the pressure. So now she's riding 27 in the rear and 25 in the front.
Cool.
It depends on condition as well, but
Yep.
that's the average pressure.
There'll be a lot of people watching at home going, "Oh, that's far too much," but it works clearly.
Yeah, it
So,
works, yeah.
Sick. No, cheers for that.
Yeah,
And I've been saying good luck to everyone for racing this weekend, but good luck for the
Yeah.
spanner.
Thank you. Yeah,
Cool.
sweet, thanks.